Okay, good morning to all of you. I welcomes to all in our lecture series on electromagnetic theory, that is your core paper 13, belongs to 6th semester BSc syllabus. In our last class we have been discussed perpendicular polarization or horizontal polarization for oblique incidents. This figure we have been discussed in detail. That means whenever the electric field is perpendicular to the plane of incidence, that will be called as your perpendicular polarization. Okay, so the condition for the perpendicular or horizontal polarization is that the electric field vector will be perpendicular to the plane of incidence. With one example, this one I have been explained in that video. That means this is your interface where the electromagnetic wave is going to be strike or going to be incidence. Okay, the part of it is going to be reflect in the same medium and part of it is going to be refracted in the medium too, right? But when this is your plane of incidence, right? This if this is your plane of this is the interface, then this will be called as your plane of incidence. Okay, and this plane of incidence contains both incident wave, a reflected wave, and a transmitted wave, and also normal. Okay, so here for perpendicular polarization or horizontal polarization, what we discussed in our last class, for that case, electric field vectors, this is your electric field vector, is perpendicular to this plane of incidence and striked to the interface. Okay, the part of reflected part of will be transmitted in the second medium. Okay, in our today class we are going to discuss, and in our last class also we have been discussed what will be the so-called your reflection coefficient in detail we have been derived this one er by ei, and other forms of reflection coefficient also we have been derived with detailed step, and also transmission coefficient will be this much, that also we have been discussed in our last class. In our today class we are going to discuss parallel polarization, or it is also called as vertical polarization. For this case, the electric field vector is not to be perpendicular to the plane of incidence. It will be parallel to the plane of incidence. Only for that it will be called as parallel polarization or so-called vertical polarization. So parallel polarization means electric field vector will be parallel to the plane of incidence like this. Will be parallel to the plane of incidence and it is propagating like this. Okay, and it will be going to strike to the interface, and then we are going to calculate the reflection and transmission coefficient. One thing I have been forgot that I have to say to you, that here in case of perpendicular polarization, what is happens, see, this is your electric field vector, right? It is propagating towards the interface. When it is striked to the interface, you can see this is fully tangential to the interface. Okay, this is tangential, full tangential, right? So if it will be tangential, that means whatever the component moving towards the interface, that component itself tangential to the interface itself, that component itself tangential to this interface. So we can easily put the boundary condition that ei plus er equal to et. Okay, in our last class what we written, that ei plus er equal to et, because whatever the tangential component, sorry, whatever the electric component is moving towards the interface, the same component is tangential to the interface, right? Tangential, this is tangential, full tangential, right? Now in a today case, that means when the electric field is going to be parallel with the plane of incidence like this, then this same component could not be tangential to this interface. How it is? You can easily identify. See, this component is propagating like this. Just see. When it will be touch or when it will be nearer, just before the interface, this component not tangential to the interface. This component will be like this. Okay. So if this component is your EI, suppose this component is your EI not to be tangential to the interface, but EI cos theta, it's EI cos theta I. See, this is your incident and this is your reflected wave. This angle is your theta I and this is your theta R. Okay. So if this will be the parallel with the plane of incidence and is moving towards the interface, when it will just touch the interface, it is not exactly tangential. This component is not exactly tangential to this interface, but it will be like this. But it's cos theta components. Cos theta component, this is your suppose EI, this is EI. Okay, its EI cos theta component will be this one, cos theta I component will be this one, which will be the tangential to the interface. Okay, how it is? Here I drawn in detail with angle. I am going to be explain. You just watch. So one thing I want to share, that when this electric field intensity is going to be reflected in this way, reflected, then the component will be like this. So the reflected component will be like this. This is your pointer side, and when it will reflected, it will just reverse its pointer side this side. So for this reflection component, we can found the ER cos theta, but it is in the negative y-axis direction. Okay, so your cos theta component of this reflected electric field will be along this way. That means this is your ER component, but its ER cos theta component will be this one. That means it is directed towards the negative side of the so-called y-axis. This is your y-axis, this side is your x-axis, and this is your z-axis. Okay, so boundary condition will be how much? Boundary condition will be is nothing but your incident component plus reflected component should be continuous at the boundary. That means it will be equal to your tangents, transmitted component. That means tangential component of incident plus tangential component of reflected will be equal to tangential component of your transmitted wave. But here the tangential component of your incident is considered as EI cos theta. How it will be EI cos theta, I am going to explain in the figure. You just wait. EI cos theta plus ER cos theta we have to write, but as it will be directed towards negative y-axis, so it will be minus ER cos theta will be equal to ET cos theta. Will be parallel component of the transmitted wave, that will be ET cos theta. In detail mathematics I am going to be explained in the figure. You just watch, okay, carefully. So this is the figure. Here you can found that how the cos theta component will be tangential to this interface. Carefully you have to watch, okay. Here one thing I forgot to say to you, that whenever a component, electric component is moving or incidents on this interface, this component will be perpendicular to the line of incidence. So this is your line along which it is propagating or incidenting on this interface. Okay, so this component always perpendicular. You can see that this is perpendicular. Okay, likewise if we are going to consider the reflected one also is perpendicular. Okay, but when it is going to be touch to the interface, it will be a angle. Okay, but however it will be cos theta component will be tangential to this interface. That I am going to explain with the help of this figure. Carefully you have to watch. See, this is your incident electromagnetic wave, and this is your component of electric field. This is the reflected one, and this is your transmitted wave. And this shaded one is your interface, and this rectangle which is perpendicular to this interface like this, that is your plane of incidence. Here I am going to write, this is your plane of incidence. A incident wave incidents on the interface, part of it's reflected, part of it's refracted. So here refracted wave is somewhat bends towards the normal. That means the medium 2 refractive index is greater than that of the medium 1. That means N2 here we have been considered N1, greater than that of the N1. And this electric field component is, I told that, will be perpendicular to the line of incidence. That means this whole angle is your 90 degree. I'm going to zoom that it will be better for you. So it will be the 90 degree. Okay, you can see this wave is moved like this, just tried means it will be like this. So but its tangential component which will be parallel or tangential to this interface, that will be nothing but your EI cos theta. How it is? See, when this one is your incident electric field, I am going to do a perpendicular. I am going to draw a perpendicular from here and passed through this point. This perpendicular I have just drawn. Okay, so this is theta I, this angle is theta I, this angle is your 90 degree, right? So this angle will be 90 minus theta I, right? This angle is your 90 minus theta I. However, this full angle is your 90 degree, right? 90 degree minus this angle, which is 90 minus theta I, will be how much? Will be theta I. That means this angle also theta I. Okay, if this angle is theta I and this is your EI component, so obviously this one is your EI cos theta I component. So this one will be your EI cos theta I component, right? Whenever EI is moving like this towards the interface, EI cos theta component is moving like this towards the interface. Okay, so here if EI, suppose this is your EI component is moving towards the interface, EI cos theta component, this one is moving towards interface, and when this one is going to touch with this interface, its cos theta component, that means EI cos theta I component, will be also touch to the interface, and which will be the tangential to the interface, cos theta component. Got it? So hence EI cos theta I will be the tangential to the interface, not EI alone, whatever for the perpendicular case. Okay, so whenever part of it is transmitted, it will be in the same direction. This one is your ET, right? This one is your ET. However, ET cos theta will be this one. Same thing, similarly you can do it here. How you can do? So let this is your theta t, and just extend this one, and this is the perpendicular, right? So this is 90 degree, means this angle will be how much? This angle will be 90 minus theta t. I am suggesting to you that you don't write much more things in the figure. Okay, you just understand it and keep it in your mind, or you can write somewhere in your note. Okay, or in the side of the figure you can do these things. 90 minus theta, so this will be your 90 minus theta t. Okay, if this angle is your 90 minus theta t, see this line and this line crossed at this point, that means this angle will be also 90 minus theta t, but this one, this whole angle is your 90 degree. So hence this angle will be 90 minus theta t will be equal to theta t. So if this angle will be theta t, obviously this angle will be also theta t. Okay, but ET component is your this one is your ET component. I have to write over here, it will be give you better understanding. So this pointer is represents your ET, transmitted electric field vector, this one, and corresponding ET cos theta is nothing but this one is your ET cos theta. You can see this ET cos theta is parallel or tangential to the interface, right? Now we have to discuss about reflected one. So reflected one is this one. This is your incident, transmitted or refracted. This is your reflected. I think I have to just rotate my note, it will be better. I am going to just rotate. Okay, you see. So this is your reflected one. Reflected one means this is your ER component. After reflection, this is your ER component. See, this side is your positive y-axis. I rotated my note. This is your positive y-axis direction and this is your negative y-axis direction. So here, this is your ER, right? Now, same thing. You just do one thing. Just draw a perpendicular which will pass through this point and perpendicular to this line, normal. So this is your 90 degree, right? So this is your theta r. So this angle will be 90 minus theta r, right? So this one, as this component, ER component is always perpendicular to the reflected line, that means this whole angle is 90 degree. So 90 minus theta r, this angle will be theta r. Okay, so if this one is your ER component, then this will be your ER cos theta r component and this will be your ER sin theta r component. We are not bothering about the sin theta component, we are bothering about the tangential component. So this one ER cos theta r will be along this way. So this direction is nothing but your negative y-axis direction. Okay, negative y-axis direction. So hence minus ER cos theta r component of the reflected wave is tangential to the interface. Got it? So this one ER cos theta r will be tangential to the interface, right? So the tangential component is propagating this way, right? So this is all about your figure, whatever I explained. And now we are going to consider the boundary condition. The boundary condition is that the tangential component of E is continuous across the boundary. That is, what is the tangential component of incident one? The tangential component of incident wave, electromagnetic wave, here we are considering electric field only. The tangential component of electric field here is EI for the incident case. For incident case, EI cos theta I, whatever we have been discussed here. Okay, so EI cos theta I is the tangential component for your electric field, incident electric field, and tangential component for the reflected electric field is your minus ER cos theta r. So EI cos theta I plus minus ER cos theta r. So directly I have been written minus ER cos theta r will be equal to ET cos theta t. Let this is your equation number 1. Then we have to derive the mathematical derivation to find out your reflection and transmission coefficient. So the most important thing is that you have to draw the figure properly. Okay, so this is my suggestion, that draw the figure properly, take the time and draw it properly. Okay, and here you write all the things in this way. I suggest that you just no need to write, because here the same concept we have been used. So keep it in your mind, but if we are going to be write many things in the figure is so complex. Okay, these things also I explained, but here you have to write 90 minus theta. Here 90 minus theta are 1 or 2 point. If you write, then it will be enough that we can understand next time whenever we are going to be study it. And also this video you can follow it. Okay, now this can be written as ei cos theta I minus er cos theta I equal to et cos theta t, because incident angle and reflected angle both are same. So instead of reflected angle we can write incident angle, instead of theta r we can write theta I. Okay, so take this one, this side, wait, no, cos theta I just you take common, so it will be ei minus er cos theta I equal to et cos theta t. Let this is your equation number 2. Now we have to divide ei both the side. What we are going to get, just ei we are going to divide, so it will be ei by ei means 1 minus er by ei, so this will be et by ei. Okay, so same thing have been written here, 1 minus er by ei after dividing ei. Okay, 1 minus er by ei cos theta I equal to et by ei cos theta t. So here I am going to suggest one thing, that whenever you are writing the derivations, carefully you have to write t, I, r like that, because here you are going to do the mistake. Okay, unconsciously suppose this is r and you written t, in the next time whenever we are going to follow your note you will be confused. So whenever you are writing the note, carefully you have to write. Okay, so 1 minus er by ei cos theta I, just follow my word and pause the video and write et by ei cos theta t. That implies et by ei will be equal to, here cos theta t is going to be divided with this side, it will be 1 minus er by ei into cos theta I by cos theta t. Let this is your equation number 3. Now substitute this et by ei value, that means this one, in equation number 5 what we obtained previously, that is this one, er square by ei square equal to 1 minus epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 whole root over into et by ei whole square cos theta t by cos theta I. That is your equation number 5 that we have been found previously. You just check your note. This is your equation number 5, that means this one. Okay, whenever we discussed the oblique incidents at that time we found, and this equation also used in this case perpendicular polarization, that you know. And now we are going to be this one going to use this equation number 5 for the derivations. Okay, so here this equation, here see, after equation number 3 here it is written equation number 5, but this equation number 5 is previous one, so don't be confused. So er square by ei square equal to 1 minus this one. This is your equation number 5, and put it in your curly bracket. Now er square by ei square equal to 1 minus epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 whole root over into 1 minus here et by ei, here et by ei square, that means here we have to put this one, but whole square it will be, so it will be 1 minus er by ei whole square into cos square theta I by cos square theta t, cos square theta I by cos square theta t into cos theta t by cos theta I, cos theta t by cos theta I. Here 1 cos theta t will be cancelled, cos theta I, 1 cos theta I is going to be cancelled, and we found cos theta I by cos theta t. So we found that here another thing also, we done one step here I have been omitted. You can see, take 1 this side, it will be -1 plus this much equal to minus of this one, then again multiply minus, it will be +1 minus er square by ei square equal to, this was minus, it will be plus epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 root over into this square, this will be cos theta I by cos theta t, right? Now this is in the form of a square minus b square, so we can write a minus b into a plus b form, so it will be 1 minus er by ei into 1 plus er by ei equal to epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 whole root over into 1 minus er by ei whole square into cos theta I by cos theta t. Simple derivation. So here 1 minus er by ei, here 1 minus er by ei square, so one term is going to be cancelled out, so only left hand side we will be get 1 minus er by ei equal to epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 root over whole root over into already cancelled one term, so we can get only one term, that is 1 minus er by ei into cos theta I by cos theta t. Cos theta I by cos theta t will be equal to epsilon 2 by epsilon 1, epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 whole root over, just multiply this one with this one and this one with this one. See, just multiply this one with this one. Okay, then what we are going to get, epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 whole root over cos theta I by cos theta t, first term. Second term will be epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 root over er by ei into cos theta I by cos theta t. Okay, come to the next page. Next page, what I done, just 1 second. See, in the next page what I done, this minus term I have been taken to this side, and this 1 I have been taken this side. When this one is going to move this side, it will be plus, 1 is going to move this side, it will be minus. So we can found er by ei plus this term will be equal to this one minus 1, right? Same thing it has been written, that er by ei plus epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 whole root over er by ei into cos theta I by cos theta t equal to epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 whole root over cos theta I by cos theta t minus 1, right? Now here we can found er by ei common in these two terms, take outside 1 plus epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 whole root over cos theta I by cos theta t equal to epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 whole root over cos theta I by cos theta t minus 1. Okay, simply just add it. What we are going to find out, epsilon 2 cos theta I, epsilon 2 cos theta I, root over of epsilon 2 cos theta I, this one root over of epsilon 1 cos theta t will be added, means this one minus epsilon 1 root over cos theta I divided by root over of epsilon 1 cos theta t, sorry, epsilon 2 cos theta I minus, whenever is going to be add these two term, we are going to add epsilon 2 root over cos theta I minus root over of epsilon 1 cos theta t by epsilon 1 root over cos theta t, right? So left hand side also we have to add, it will be root over of epsilon 1 cos theta t plus root over of epsilon 2 cos theta I by root over of epsilon 1 cos theta t. Same thing it has been written, equal to this much, equal to this much, right? Now here you can see left hand side, right hand side, the denominator term, this one root over of epsilon 1 cos theta t, root over of epsilon 1 cos theta t, both are got cancelled. Then er by ei will be this much divided by this much, simple. So er by ei will be epsilon 2 root over cos theta I minus epsilon 1 root over cos theta t, epsilon 1 root over cos theta t whole divided by this one epsilon 1 root over cos theta t. Just here I interchanged. No problem. Here it is plus is there, so you just write it. Okay, don't be confused. Just I interchanged this one. This term I written here. This term I written here. So e2 cos theta I, because to uniformity of cos theta I, then cos theta t, I done this one. The root over of epsilon 2 cos theta I plus root over of epsilon 1 cos theta t. Okay, don't be confused. Okay, so here this is minus, this is epsilon 1, this is theta t, this is theta t, and theta I, this is epsilon 2 root over epsilon 2 root over. Let this is your equation number 4, and as it is ER by EI, this expression is nothing but, this equation represents reflection coefficient, right? And this expression can be written in other forms, like if we are going to substitute cos theta t as 1 minus sin square theta t, then it will be modified to in this form. Okay, ER by EI, epsilon 2 root over cos theta I minus epsilon 1 whole root over 1 minus sin square theta t, and here epsilon 2 root over cos theta I plus epsilon 1 into 1 minus sin square theta t whole root over. This is also another form of reflection coefficient. Here you just put a heading and let this is your equation number 5. And from Snell's law, we know that epsilon 1 sin square theta I equal to epsilon 2 sin square theta t. In our previous class, we have been discussed these things. I am going to show you. You can check your note whenever we have discussed this one, oblique incidence. Here, you can see in equation number 4 we found sin theta I by sin theta t, epsilon 2 root over by epsilon 1 root over, and squaring both the side we can get epsilon 1 sin square theta I equal to epsilon 2 sin square theta t. Same thing I have been written, epsilon 1 sin square theta I equal to epsilon 2 sin square theta t. So hence sin square theta t will be epsilon 1 by epsilon 2 sin square theta I. We are going to substitute the sin square theta t value over here and here. Then what we are going to get? ER by EI equal to epsilon 2 root over cos theta I minus whole root over of epsilon 1 into 1 minus epsilon 1 by epsilon 2 sin square theta I. Instead of sin square theta t, we have to substitute epsilon 1 by epsilon 2 sin square theta I, and whole divided by epsilon 2 root over cos theta I plus whole root over of epsilon 1 into 1 minus epsilon 1 by epsilon 2 sin square theta I. Okay, let this is your equation number 6. Also, this equation number 6 is another form of your reflection coefficient. Different forms will help you to the solve problems in your exam. Okay, so dividing numerator and denominator by epsilon 1 root over. That means here we found one form. I'm going to divide epsilon 1 root over in the numerator and denominator. Then what we are going to get? We can get epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 whole root over cos theta. Here it is epsilon 2. That means it will be epsilon 1 by epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 whole root over cos theta. And here epsilon 1 is going to be cancelled, and this will be epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 whole root over. So it will be epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 cos theta. This is whole root over cos theta minus root over 1 minus epsilon 1 by epsilon 2 sin square theta I. Okay, then whole divided by epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 whole root over cos theta t, cos theta I plus whole root over of 1 minus epsilon 1 by epsilon 2 sin square theta I. Okay, so let this is your equation number 7, and this is also another form of your reflection coefficient. Now again we are going to do what? We are going to multiply with RHS and divide by epsilon 2 by epsilon 1. So we are going to multiply epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 root over and also divide. Then it will be, see, already epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 root over is there. If I am going to multiply with this, it will be epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 only. Root over is going to be removed. So epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 cos theta I minus, I'm going to be multiply with this one with this term. It will be epsilon 2 by epsilon 1. 1 is there, means this root over will be move inside. It will be epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 whole root over minus sine square theta I, because here it is epsilon 1 by epsilon 2. When it will be multiplied with epsilon 2 by epsilon 1, it will be cancelled out. Epsilon 2, epsilon 2, 2 and epsilon 1, 1 will be cancelled. Only sine square theta I will be left, and divided by, it will be epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 cos theta I plus whole root over of epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 minus sine square theta I. So this is another form of your reflection coefficient. Let this is your equation number 8. So here equation number 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever we discussed, 5, 6 and 7, 8, 7, 8 are the expressions which are represents the reflection. Okay, now transmission coefficient. Now what will the transmission coefficient? So now transmission coefficient, we know that Et by Ei. Now we have to just put the equation number 4 in equation number 3. The equation number 4, this one, I am going to put in equation number 3. Equation number 3 represents transmission coefficient Et by Ei. So 3, in the 3 we have Et by Ei equal to 1 minus Er by Ei cos theta I by cos theta t. So here Er by Ei is going to be substituted by the equation number 4. Okay, this one. What we are going to get? Et by Ei equal to square bracket 1 minus, this value is nothing but your cos, equation number 4. Okay, epsilon 2 root over cos theta I minus epsilon 1 root over cos theta t by epsilon 2 root over cos theta I plus epsilon 1 root over cos theta t into cos theta I by cos theta t, cos theta I by cos theta t. Okay, now we are just simply add. It will be, this is going to be moved to here minus this one whole divided by this one. So it will be epsilon 2 root over cos theta I plus epsilon 1 root over cos theta t minus, it will be epsilon 2 root over cos theta I minus plus epsilon 1 root over cos theta t whole divided by this one. Epsilon 2 root over cos theta I plus epsilon 1 root over cos theta t into cos theta I by cos theta t. Here two terms are going to be cancelled out. See, epsilon 2 root over cos theta I minus epsilon 2 root over cos theta I is going to be cancelled out, and these two terms are same. Epsilon 1 root over cos theta t, epsilon 1 root over cos theta t is going to be add up. It will be 2 root over of epsilon 1 cos theta I whole divided by epsilon 2 root over cos theta I plus epsilon 1 root over cos theta t. This is the representation of transmission coefficient. Okay, so here we have to stop our today's class. In the next class we are going to discuss about Brewster angle or polarizing angle. Okay, so here I am going to suggest one thing, that pause the video, write down the note carefully, and I will suggest that up to this much you have to write. Okay, this is your reflection coefficient, and we are using this one to find out the transmission coefficient. And the other forms, this one 5, 6, 7, 8, you keep in your note, but don't no need to write in exam. You can write in your exam, but up to this much is enough for 6 to 8 mark question. For 6 to 8 mark question, up to 4 equation, then direct transmission coefficient we have to use 4 in 3, and this one is enough for 6 to 8 mark question. However, you have to write these things, other forms of reflection coefficient in your note. It will be useful for the numericals whenever you are going to face in the exam. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you, and write down carefully and be ready for the next class. We are going to discuss Brewster angle or polarizing angle. Okay, and draw this figure perfectly. Okay, thank you.